We were trying to figure out the StreamYard again. Mr. Moon hasn't had coffee yet. Yeah, we're just getting started. I'm my first cup here and I'm playing with StreamYard. It's only my second time on StreamYard and I can't remember how I pinned StreamYard on the chat where people can come up and visit. I don't know how to put StreamYard up on the chat. 17 Rebel Outdoors, welcome in. I'm a little rusty at this. Copy and paste. I did it once before, but now I have no idea. We got 5 people in the house. I don't even know where I copy and paste it from to put the StreamYard in there. But anyway, I'm live. I'd like to have some guests come up on panel, but I'm not sure how to. Backlash Fisherman, welcome in. I'm gonna get it on there. I'll have to worry about putting the StreamYard up there later because I just can't figure it out. I'm a caveman. Caveman. We got live anyway, and we got the copy. StreamYard to be pinned up there where people can come live with me, but more button, click, invite, and copy and paste it back. More button. Anything is possible. Welcome in. And when I click the more button, it brings up post comment, layout, private chat, stream info, and settings. I don't know what to do after that. I don't have a clue. Info. I don't have a clue. There, I think I got it in the chat anyway. I got StreamYard on the chat. Now got the three dots out there to the side. Still won't let me pin it yet. Anyway, there is the StreamYard. If anyone wants to come up and have some coffee with us and just have a nice little chat. Yeah, even a caveman can do something once in a while. Out here. Last time I was able to click on them three dots out to the side and it would let me pin it. But there we go. I got it pinned. We're getting there. Only halfway through some coffee, but we're getting there. Now I got to remember to look for guests in the basement. Already in the office. Those are naughty words this early in the morning. We don't want to be in no office. That's too much like work. So Swain, welcome in. Everyone feel free to drop your links and hook set all your friends. Let's go. Let's build this community. We have 6 people in there. Miss Joan, welcome in. How's the sound? Am I sounding loud and clear? We're having some Starbucks coffee this morning. This is provided by Modog Fishing. If you haven't got Modog Fishing, everyone needs to go over and hook set him. His wife is a Starbucks girl, and every once in a while you can win some Starbucks coffee on your show, and it is great. I'd be drinking Folgers if it wasn't for Modog, but Modog hooked me up with some Starbucks. 7 people in the house this morning. This coffee shop's really small, so we're gonna have to all huddle in tight right here. Yeah. Anybody in the guest room? Yeah. Is up there if anybody wants to come on panel. Have some coffee and just relax and chat. Anybody got any big plans today? We know anything possible is already in the office, so he's a little tied up. It's gonna be a rainy, cold day again today, and it went from freezing cold to wet and sloppy. I don't like either one, so we'll be sitting here drinking some coffee. 'Only my second time on the StreamYard, and I was able to get the StreamYard pinned to the top of the screen. I'm popping in to hit the ready to head to Job Center to go sign on. Yeah, good luck with that Job Center, Miss Jones. That's usually what happens. Mother Nature can't decide what to do. We all have spring fever this time of year. Got a little bit of more winter to make it through. There's going to be some cold, hard winds. We got to find that happy medium when spring first starts. Where it's really nice. Might have to have a jacket. Might have to have a rain jacket. But we love the springtime around here. Cold here one day and warm the next. That's what happened in the morning. You gotta have your winter snowsuit on. For afternoon, you just gotta have a light jacket, and then you just need a shirt. And then the evening starts coming, you gotta have that jacket again. And nightfall comes, you gotta have winter snowsuit. Like everybody's constantly sick. The temperatures go up and down like a roller coaster. You go through spring, winter, and fall all in one day. Where are you from, Lisa Swain? You're fairly new. I know that you're fairly new. You're new to my eyes. I haven't seen that name but a couple of times. Let's see. I'm coming to you from southeast Kansas, and Mr. Alley. At least while you're sitting at the office, you get to get on StreamYard. Not far from Skipjack, Cindy. There's a lot of fishermen in Tennessee. I think I'm not sure, but it might be a tidal river there. Never fished the tidal river where it comes up with the ocean in and out. Only raise in our rivers is after a big rain. Hopefully it rains big upriver to hold the river up for a while and it falls pretty fast. I'm sure just like the tidal rivers, when the river's coming up, when they like to bite, and when it turns around goes the other way, when they get the fight or flight. When the river's going down, they like to run away because they're afraid they'll get trapped in a mud puddle. The bite's better on the rise because they're coming up out of the mud puddles for that deeper water looking for the worms. Beyond the hook. Welcome in Beyond the Hook. We're just having a little coffee and trying to work out the kinks on this StreamYard. So Missy won a prize on Anything Possible last night. He needs to get the address in so he can mail it out. Welcome in, Anthony J. Wilson. You left him behind the other day. He was just kicking it in your house, I think. I got the StreamYard pinned at the top if anybody like to come up and visit, have some coffee. We're having Starbucks this morning. We're uptown. Share the links and hook up with all the other fishermen. We need to build this fishing community from the bottom up. Chad Wilson chewed me out when I got home. Don't post it here though. You can email me. Got his email address there for you. I wouldn't leave Wilson at home very often. He might have a ball. Come home to a party. Rolling it. Be a lot funnier when springtime is here and we're out on the pontoon houseboat. Catching them blue cats. Oh, yeah. Be a much better show on the houseboat. Wilson always has a ball. He's always kicking it too. Wilson likes to roll around and kick it. Hey, you depressed him a little bit though. He's a little flat today. He wanted to go fishing. Time to hit that Starbucks card again. Get some more coffee. Natural State Fishing, welcome in. We're going to get us a little bit more coffee here real quick. A little coffee pot. A little spoonful of sugar. Swirl that over room. You got to put in them good intentions. We're going to have a great day. Anytime you're cooking or mixing up coffee, you're always casting spells, whether you know it or not. Your intentions are spells undercover. You don't have to use all the tools to make spell work. Just your tongue is the greatest spell work ever. No tools required, but they help. Uh, we got Keep Stock Read in the house. Welcome in, Keep Stock Read. Gate Velocity, welcome in. Anybody'd like to come up on panel and have a chat? We got the StreamYard pinned at the top. It might take me a minute to find you in the basement and get you all on screen, but then we'll try. I like the morning shows, and not very many people go live in the morning, so I give it a shot. Go in the morning, if I don't have anything to do, my mind just goes crazy. So this is entertaining my mind for a minute. A little less stressful when you're on someone else's show, but you gotta figure out that part. I run the morning show and have no stress. Raining for 2 days straight here. Supposed to rain tomorrow as well. Rain brings in the big fish unless it gets too big of a mess. Then around here, they like to shut the gates at the river when it comes up too high. And that's really upsetting to me because the floodwaters is the time to catch the monsters in the normal river that doesn't have the tidal waters. The floodwaters is awesome. But they like to lock the gates and run you out of the river during the floodwaters saying, oh, you're in flash flood area. Well, I've lived on this river my whole life and I've never seen a flash flood come in so fast I couldn't get in my truck and drive up a couple of feet and then fish again. That's what happens. The river will run you out of the park on its own accord. You don't need the city people saying, oh, you got to get out of here. You're sitting there fishing, the water will come up, and they keep coming up. They come up to the tires on your truck, and it's like, all right, it's time to put the gear in the back of the truck, and we're going to drive a little bit up the river a little ways, where the tires ain't in the water, and then we're going to cast out and fish some more. Then when the river comes up and gets on the tires of the truck again, well, all right, we'll move a little further away from the water. And that carries on. Eventually, if it gets up high enough, you'll be out of the park. Problem solved. They don't need nobody telling you to leave. I'm smart enough to know when the water gets up on my pole and on my tires of my truck, it's time to move a little bit. But you got some people thinking, oh, you can't be down here. You're going to get flooded away. Well, it never came in that fast. And I got a four-wheel drive truck. It could be up to my doors and I could probably still drive out of it. But we always have them Karens. Think they got to tell everybody what to do. Then when they lock the gates at the river, they're like, oh, you can't even walk down in there and fish now. The park is closed. Man, we just want to fish and have a good time. Then they say if you go around the barricade and put your boat in the water in that flood water, they want to give you a $500 ticket for going around the barricades. It's crazy around here in floodwater season. I agree with you there, Chad. My favorite time is high water and same current. Yeah. My best fishing trip ever. I went down to this little place called Connors, and it's out in the country, and it's a boat ramp. It's got a great big parking lot, and the main road is up high, and you pull off the main road down into the parking lot, and then there's a boat ramp. Well, this day the river was up into the parking lot about a foot deep, maybe a little bit over a foot deep, and there wasn't you couldn't even pull onto the parking lot unless you were in the river. Now, and it's a long drive to get down to the country boat ramp. So when I get there, there's already like six boats up on the highway. It's not really a highway, it's a dirt road leading up to this boat ramp, but the road is higher than the parking lot and the boat ramp. So everybody's just setting up on this high road going, man, the parking lot's flooded. What do we do? We drove all this way and the water's on the parking lot. Well, you know me, I just had a 20-foot flat bottom at that time, and the road going down to the parking lot looked a lot like the boat ramp now. So I just said, hey, let's back it down into the parking lot. So we backed the boat down into the parking lot, which is now part of the river. and we got the boat off the trailer right there in the parking lot. And then we drove the truck back up on the county road and parked it on the easement of the side of the dirt road. Got back in the boat, and then we paddled all the way across the parking lot back out to where the boat ramp actually is. And once I got to the boat ramp, I knew the water got a little bit deeper than 1.5 feet or so, and I could drop my outboard down. And we motored on out into the main river channel. Well, right there at the boat ramp is the bridge on the dirt road goes over the river, and it's usually way high. But now that the river's swollen, as I'm going underneath the bridge, I can reach up and touch the concrete of the bridge now. And as I cross underneath the bridge, I'm in the treetops, and this is a place where everybody goes spoonbilling for spoonbill. So as they're trying to throw them big rigs out, they're hitting the top of the trees and losing all their sinkers and hooks in the top of these trees. But now the river is up so high, it's in the top of the trees. So as I'm motoring along, I'm seeing all this tackle in these treetops. So I'm just going with my knife, cutting out sinker after sinker after sinker, just loading up the bottom of the boat full of all this free tackle. So that took me a minute to get over that. And after I got all the free tackle that I wanted, we went ahead and went upriver to the spot I like to fish. And the river is up, there's usually a rock bluff walls along the side of this river, but now the river is up so high, it's up out of the banks, and it's going out into these farm fields as far as you can see. So the river is like really, really wide now because there's no banks. It's so high. So we throw the anchor and we start fishing. And I got a 55-gallon barrel in the middle of the boat, half full of water. And me and my buddy were fishing with 2 poles each. And this is extremely high water and extremely high current. And as soon as we start fishing, I mean, you barely get the pole in the water, it's bouncing. You get the other pole in the water, it's bouncing. So we got 4 poles out between the two of us, and you're getting one fish off the hook and throwing it over your shoulder in the barrel. By that time, your other pole's already got a fish on the hook, so you got to throw it in the barrel and get the pole back in, and it was like that. Bam, 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 fish, fish, fish. Before I knew it, I turned around and looked at this 55-gallon barrel in the boat and get all these catfish mouths are at the top sucking for air. So I'm like, man, there's too many fish in the barrel. I got to start putting them on a stringer so they'll stay alive. So I start stringing up all these fish, and I'm like, whoa, 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 stop catching fish. We were over our limit, and it only took us like 3 hours. And I think where I was fishing, we were allowed 15 catfish apiece. So we had over 30 catfish in 4 hours' time. We had to release a few of them, and it was time to go home. That was the best fishing trip ever. I got 2 full limits, 4 hours time. And when we get back to the flooded parking lot, it's got almost 2 foot of water on it now because the water's still coming up. Now there's all them 5 or 6 boats that were setting up on the dirt road thinking, man, the parking lot's flooded, we can't fish. They followed my lead and put their boats in on that flooded parking lot, used the road off the county road into the parking lot as the boat ramp because the boat ramp's way over here flooded completely. And then everybody had a great time because you got to experience different kinds of water. I know tall water can be very scary, but I'm a long ways from the dam. So it's not boiling water, it's this tall water. It's not boiling because the water's way out of the bank, so it's really flat water. But water can be really, really dangerous. You can have the best time of your life, and the very next second be fighting for your life. You have to respect the water at all times. The scariest time I ever had was a place called Setopa, Kansas. It's known as the catfish capital of the world. And I went there in extremely tall water, but there's a dam right there. So we motor up to the dam, and I got like a 50-pound anchor, and the water's just boiling. And I'm like, man, this got to be a great spot. It was in a semi V bottom. The boat's got a good V to it up by the front. And I'm standing up there, and I chuck that anchor out into that boiling water, and we start floating backwards, and that anchor grabs. But I don't have the rope tied to the boat. I'm just holding the rope, and it pulled me to the front of the boat. and I can't hold it no more. But the very front of the boat has a little bitty deck there that sets up a little way, so I lock my knees underneath that little deck, and I'm holding that rope, and I still can't hold it. But here's where I messed up. I wrapped that rope around my hand a couple of times, and I tried to hold it. As I do that, that rope cinches down on my hand really, really tight, and now I can't let go of the rope, and I'm in a bind. I look back at my buddy and I tell him, man, I can't hold the rope. And this is where he messes up. Instead of firing up the outboard and taking the pressure off of my hand, he comes running to the front of the boat and tries to help me hold on to the rope. And this is why I don't like semi V bottom boats. In this strong current, with two fat country boys up in the front of this boat trying to wrestle this rope, that boat starts keeling over. Well, as soon as that boat keeled over very much at all, that rushing river starts coming into the boat with us. And he says, let go of the rope, let go of the rope. And I can't, it's got me. It sinks down into my hand. And the boat, in a matter of seconds, fills up like halfway full of water. And I don't know if my hand got wet during that process or what, but the rope started to slide in my hand. So now it's not just locked down, it's sliding. And it sinks down so tight as it was sliding, it was like burning and cutting my fingers. But I was happy to get it off my hands either way. And I finally got it out of my hands, and now the boat's just drifting down the river, and we're setting the water up to our waist in this semi-flat bottom boat. We lost the anchor and the rope, but we got away with our lives that day. We took the 5-gallon buckets that were just floating in the bottom of the boat now, and we start bailing out the boat. We get the boat bailed out, we go down river a little ways, and we have to use another rope because we lost the anchor rope completely. And we tie onto the bank somewhere, and we actually caught a lot of fish that day. But it gave me the respect of the power of the river that day. The river is mighty strong. Yeah, it's called Chetopa, Kansas, and it is known as the catfish capital. Chetopa, Kansas. I live in Baxter Springs, Kansas, so it's like 30 minutes from me. It's the Neosho River. Where I live, we got the Spring River, then you drive the Chetopa, and that's got the Neosho River. And they all run together down in Oklahoma at a place called Twin Bridges. That's where the rivers come together in Hawaii there. And that's where I like to fish too, where the two rivers come together. Around here, it's ripping when it floods, but yeah, it just depends on the contour of the land. As a teenager, I wrapped hold on, around a tree in a flood and was pinned for about 5 seconds. The river can be mighty powerful. You don't know the power of water until it's got you in one of them dangerous situations, and then you respect it really fast. Luckily, I was able to escape with my life when it taught me a very important lesson. I'm never going to throw the anchor in boiling, powerful water at the dam again. You got to go over to the side and where it's not so powerful. All right, Anthony, thanks for stopping in. I've not even been watching if anybody's tried to come up in the basement. I got carried away with my story time. It's not that far from me. I have fished there in Oklahoma. That's where I live. I live in Kansas, but I travel like 30, 40 minutes down the Twin Bridges area and fish the Neosho River. The Baxter Springs River is only like 3 or 4 foot deep when at good water levels. Right now, it's probably a foot deep. But you drop down to Oklahoma there by Twin Rivers where the Neosho hits Spring River. And the Neosho River right there is like 25 foot deep. This time of year, all the fish in my river, they swim downriver to Twin Bridges and they cross over into the Neosho River where it's 25 foot deep, and that's where they hang out for the winter pool. They don't go all the way to the lake because once they hit that 25-foot deep water, they're good for the winter. I understood why I stuck up without a paddle. I'm using stuck downriver without a paddle. Downriver. Well, if you're downriver, you're gonna have a hard time getting back to the ramp. I like to go upriver a lot. That way, if you have any problems, you can float back to the ramp. Dams are usually where you can catch your monster catfish. Went to this place called KG&E. It's another country dam out in the middle of nowhere. You got to drive all these dirt roads to find this KG&E dam. And you get out there, and it's just a dam out in the country, concrete. And I was fishing there, and I hooked the biggest fish of my life. It was a big flathead. I mean, he had that ugly stick doubled all the way over where the tip of the pole is down here by my handle. And I'm fighting that big flathead. I get him to the bank. I'm like on a 20-foot tall wall. My friend's down at the water level trying to grab my fish for me. And I get his head up out of the water. And he's just standing there looking at it. We don't have a net. And he's just looking at it. I'm like, grab him. Grab him. Put your hands in his mouth. Grab him. And he's just standing there looking. He finally grabs him, pulls him out of the water. I go running down and I grab that fish. I got both my hands in his mouth and I'm trying to hold him up as far as I can. And his tail is on the ground with me holding him up like this. His tail's on the ground and curled up. So I can't even pick him off the ground. He's so big. And I'm like, you got your phone? You got your phone? I need a picture. And he's like, my phone's in the truck. And he won't go get the phone to take a picture of my fish. So oh man. And we just get to the spot to go fishing. It took us like an hour to drive to this spot. Normally, when I catch the big fish of my life, I'm ready to go home. I want to celebrate, but like I said, he was the driver. We're an hour away from home, so I have to put this fish on a stringer. Well, here's something nobody tells you. When you go buy a fishing stringer, they're made by the catch and release people because they don't make a fishing stringer made to hold a big fish. They just don't. So I put this fish in my lifetime on the stringer that I didn't get to take a picture of. My friend wouldn't go get his phone. So I put it on a stringer reluctantly, and we're waiting. It takes 5 hours to decide, well, I can't catch a fish like you. I'm ready to go home. So I go over there to my stringer, and I grab it really nice and easy, and I'm just barely pulling it slowly, trying to get it to the bank where I get my hands on this monster. As I put just a little bit of tension on that stringer, that fish feels it. He kicks his tail one time. I feel him go whop. And that one flip of the tail, well, on the end of a stringer, when you buy them brand new from the store, they got this little dinky metal ring. And I didn't know no better because I've never lost a fish in my life before. And I put the stringer to that little metal ring like you're supposed to. That's how they work. Well, that fish, when he kicked his tail, that metal ring just opens up. And that metal ring opens up, that makes him free to swim away, no problem. That's what he did. He ripped right off that stringer, and he's still growing bigger today. I don't know how big he was. No photograph to prove it. It's a fish tail of a lifetime. But anyway, getting back to that stringer with the metal ring on it, if you are going to eat your fish and you want to take him home, you got to take that metal ring on the stringers. Throw that away. Now you just want to tie a loop knot in the bottom of that stringer and you run your stringer through that loop knot that you just tied, and you never use that metal ring on the bottom of the stringer. That metal ring is only there to cause you to lose your big fish. If the stringer company didn't want you to lose your big fish, they wouldn't put a metal ring on the end of the stringer that can fall apart so easy on a nice fish. So they're against the people keeping fish when they make their stringers because they just can't hold a fish. I'm here a minute. Hello, Cheeto. Welcome in. Got a monster flathead, but he's still swimming. I have no photographic proof, but he's still out there. The biggest one that actually landed was a 40 pounder. So I'm in the 40-pound club. Hold on a second. I'll get some brightener. Right there, my 40-pound flathead. Oh yeah. Right there, I'm holding pontoon Jody style with his mouth wide open on my shoulder. And then that there is my biggest blue cat ever. That's a monster blue cat. Oh yeah, his head's bigger than mine. The one that I managed to catch, the stringer didn't cheat me. I know on these tournaments, everybody likes to do catch and release, but I grew up poor and I lived off of this river. The river kept me alive when I was younger. I don't have to as much these days, but when I was young, I was fishing for survival. I ate fish every day to live, and they taste great, whether you're 2 pounds or 40 pounds if you're fishing for survival and have to eat them. I will release a few in this day and time because I don't need the meat like I did when I was younger. I still like to eat them. I had a good chat this morning. Drink a couple cups of coffee. I think I'm gonna kick it on back down and maybe someone else will come up live. I just wanted to get up here on StreamYard again. I'd like to have a guest come up, but we'll try that again another day. I was able to get the StreamYard pinned up there. Maybe next time we can get a guest to pop in. It's easier to talk with 2 people than just one, but I didn't do too bad, I don't think. We've got 5 people watching. Enjoy your morning coffee and have a great day, everyone. We're going to back it on out of here and hopefully find another show that's live. Thanks for coming in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. See you all again real soon.